Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning. Morning.
Intellectually, I fully understand that every single time you get on an airplane, the odds of there being an issue or a problem are the same. However, in my younger career days, I flew a lot. Right now I'm in a bout where I'm flying a lot. For me, the more I fly regularly, the less nervous I get. But even though intellectually I understand that the odds are always the same every time you get on that plane, I still in my mind say, the more you fly, the more likely something's gonna go wrong. So, I was on a flight a while ago. I was flying, it was a work destination, couldn't even tell you where I was going, it's irrelevant. We are arriving at our destination. We are generally descended in the range of air traffic control. And we're circling, we're circling, we're circling. There was no weather. It was an uneventful flight. And we're circling, circling. And there's an empty seat. It was the good old days. There was an empty seat in the middle. I generally sit on the left side of the airplane. I sit right over the wing, and I sit in the aisle in order for me to relax. Don't ask. And so here I am, sitting in my spot. Middle seat's empty. He's the guy on the aisle. He's like, what the heck's going on? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe the landing gear didn't come down, and air traffic control's looking at it. Sure enough, a couple of minutes later, the captain comes on. This is your captain. We've been notified by air traffic control that they cannot see that our landing gear has come down. I'm going to be sending my first officer out into the cabin, and he will be manually lowering the landing gear. Right away, the cockpit opens. This man walks out. He's ginormous. His head is practically touching the ceiling. Okay, a very big man. In his hand is a book. It's a manual. He looks at the manual. He looks down the aisle. He looks at the manual. He looks down the aisle, and I'm thinking, this is not giving me the warm and fuzzies. So he starts his journey down the aisle, and he's coming back, got the manual, standing next to me, looks down right next to me, yeah. So, gets down on his knees, then he lies flat on the ground with the manual in front of him, lifts the hatch off the opening, and he looks at the manual, and he looks into the hole. He looks at the manual, he looks into the hole. Finally, he takes his arm, sticks it in there, and he starts cranking and cranking and cranking. And mind you, all of the passengers on the plane are just, there's not a single person there that's freaking out about this, at least outwardly, okay? We're all sitting there probably stressed out completely, but what could you do, right? His hand's down there, he's cranking and cranking, and all of a sudden, I hear it. I hear those wheels coming down. Okay, I'm thinking this has got to be a good thing. He looks at the manual, he looks in the hole, he puts the flap back on, he gets up, he takes his manual, he marches all the way back to the front, goes back into the cockpit, closes the door, circling, circling, circling. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first officer here, or your captain here. Let me tell you, air traffic control can see the landing gear. We are going to attempt a landing. Really? Can't you just tell us that we're landing? Circle, plane is silent. There is not a peep going on there. I don't want any of you to forget that I'm a fire protection engineer, right? We start our descent. We start going down. I look out that window. The only thing I can see, which I don't think everybody else saw, was the dozens of fire apparatus that had spawned on the airfield, lining the sides, lights flashing, and although I was a little relaxed when the wheels came down, I see this and now I am once again freaked out. Well, here we go. Boom! We were safe. Mr. Tucker.